What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Thingos back again, TGTV, for another video. You already know, like, share, comment, subscribe for more content like this. Talk a lot of nerdy shit, but mostly I talk about Invincible on this channel. Now today I'm going to be talking about Invincible season 3 episode 2, and I gotta say, man, I really enjoyed this episode. I'm talking about, like, bro, I really enjoyed this episode. I loved it a lot. The whole, like, extra detail that they put in the Cecil Stedman, the backstory, us seeing, like, how he became the way that he did, the scar on his face, his beliefs, his morals, you know, like his whole code, how he ended up becoming the leader of the the Global Defense Force. It was so good. It gave us so much more insight into who he is as a person and why him and Invincible ended up, they had a conflict of views. And I'm on Cecil's side, bro. Like, I can see it from both people's perspectives. I understand how both of them feel, but Cecil has way more lived experience. He's been through so much, and I love how they highlight that he had pretty much the same views or the same perspective that Invincible did back when he was younger, before he got the position that he has now. And it took a little bit of time, and it took a lot of things that he had to go through to end up becoming the man that he is today. But he did initially start out like Invincible. So it's like, I really love how they did that, how they highlighted that. And it lets you, like I say, understand both sides. You can get it from Invincible's point of view as well, but at the same time, he's a lot more ignorant. He's a lot more he sees things a lot more black and white, you know what I'm saying? A lot more simpler, just straightforward. And the world, realistically, it's a lot more gray than that. And I can see that they're definitely going to be touching on this whole dichotomy a lot more throughout the season. You know, just the character of Cecil in general, he was always entertaining, and this just made him even more entertaining, you know, gave him a lot more depth. This was pretty much a Cecil episode. You know, it was a lot of other characters that got time in here, got to do stuff, this, that, and the third. But this was a Cecil episode, and it was so good. Even got a little bit of Civil War vibes in, like, the middle of the episode, where you got all the members of the Guardians of the Globe getting into an argument about what actually happened with Invincible, and they started to decide if they wanted to stay and work for Cecil, or if they wanted to quit and go do their own thing. So it was very interesting. I loved how that happened. Now, I know, you know what I'm saying, it happened with Invincible and Cecil, not really agreeing on things in the comic, and then Invincible ends up saying, like, hey, bro, like, I'm good, I don't want to work for you no more, and he ends up doing his own thing in the comic. It happens like that in the comic as well, but they added so much more in the animation. It's crazy. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even remember if half of this shit even happened, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember they did show us, a prequel, with Cecil, and show us, how he was before. And I think they did actually show us how he got that scar and everything. But they added so much more to it, and just like his whole character arc, and then the whole thing with the Guardians of the Globe and how they ended up having their argument and breaking apart and all that. It was just so much more in the animation than there was in the comic. Like, a lot of this stuff didn't happen, partially because Shrinking Ray wouldn't even be alive right now. You know what I'm saying? The comic, he, not she, was dead as hell. You know what I'm saying? So that's one major change. So that whole argument between Duplicate and Shrinking Ray didn't even happen in the comic. So like I say, it was just so much more depth, so much more context. It was cool. I loved how they did it. Like I say, I kind of was a little irritated when I heard how bad people was talking about Cecil, but at the same time, you got to understand, they got a whole different view on things from him. They didn't go through the same things he go through. They don't see things like how he see things, because they don't have the same experience or the same, like, lived in, traumas and stuff like that. Like, Cecil done been through it, bro. Like, the man's skin melted off. You know what I mean? Like trying to protect it. Like, bro didn't, like, come on now. He went from being pissed off about 17 people dying, which is a lot, don't get me wrong, to now, nigga, we gonna sacrifice 17 if we can save everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And you can understand where he coming from with that. So it's, I really loved it. I love this whole episode. I can't gush about it enough. They also showed at the end how Omni-Man and Cecil first met each other, which was also very interesting. I think they showed that in the comic as well, but once again, it just was, it was more layered because they also had it combined with more things going on with Cecil himself, like, when he first got introduced as the new leader of the global defense force, and then he got to meet everybody inside of the HQ, everybody sitting down at the monitors and stuff. A lot of people didn't really want to work for him because he had the reputation of being in jail. He was locked up for a while. That's another thing I wanted to highlight, man. He was on, like, he initially started out feeling like Invincible, like with the way he thought about things, just black and white with no gray, just like Invincible, so much so. But you can understand because the people that he ended up saving the city from, they had like this bio weapon, kind of like this acid bomb that they was gonna set off, the Flying Fist organization or some shit, and they was gonna set the bomb off. This green gas was gonna escape and kill hundreds of thousands, probably melt everybody's skin in the city. But Cecil worked so hard, fought so hard, sacrificed himself, damn near all of his skin, to end up, stopping that gas from getting out and hurting everybody. Killed 17 people, like I mentioned earlier, which he still felt bad about. But it's like, bruh, those two people that actually started and planned and initiated that whole attack, instead of putting them in prison or killing them, they rehabilitated them, kept them, and want to use them to help out defend the earth and for different purposes that they deem fit. Something that Cecil would definitely do today, but he didn't think about nothing like that back then when he first started his career. And when he saw that those two people were still alive and were helping out at the Global Defense Force, because they had another little flashback where him and the previous director, voiced by Joaquin Woodbine, shout out to you, my brother. But anyway, he was helping him to try to escape because he was injured. And then you had Komodo Dragon, like one of the members from the Lizard League. He was actually trying to run towards Cecil and the previous director, and he was going to kill both of them. And at the last second, the two people that was in charge of the whole bio weapon that Cecil stopped earlier on, they came out of nowhere and attacked Komodo and saved them at the last second. That was him for the first time seeing that they wasn't in prison, or that they wasn't killed or paying for their crimes, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so he just like, what the fuck is y'all doing here, bruh? And he like, man, we rehabilitated them. We're using them for our purposes. I didn't want to let their strength and their talent go to waste. Cecil was just like, oh, well, let me show them my gratitude, bro. Up the strap and put a bullet hole in between both of their eyes. So they just, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it just shows you how strongly he opposed to the, you know what I'm saying, to how things are now, like how he thinks and how he carries himself now. He was so far away from that when he first started his career. He was just like Invincible, even though I don't think Invincible would have upped the strap and just popped D.A. St. Clair and Darkwing. But you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool to see him dance. He's dancing up on the line of, should I have killed D.A. St. Clair, or should I have did what I've already done? He goes back and talked to William and Rick and let them know that, hey, D.A. St. Clair is still alive. Should I have killed him and stopped him for good? And Rick was like, look, bro, if you had killed him, you would have been just like him. We don't need more people like D.A. St. Clair. We need more people like Invincible. So, they helping him out to realize, like, hey, man, your morals are good. You ain't got no problems in how you're doing things right now. Stay the course, man. Things gonna work out. You ain't in control of everything that happened, my boy. Just stay focused. Everything gonna be good. You see my boy Oliver, he ready to get, Oliver want all the smoke. He like, hey, bro, why you ain't just kill Cecil? We wouldn't even have to worry about this. That shit had me laughing so hard. Because, Invincible, he threatened Cecil and say, bro, you come towards my brother, my mama, my family, anybody that I care about, I'm going to kill you. And then he told them about that when he was letting them know everything that happened. And Oliver was just like, shit, you just should have just killed him right there, nigga. We wouldn't even have to worry about this right now. So, it's cool to see Oliver, he's young. He's trying to navigate these emotions, and he's trying to also understand how things work. Being a superhero, you can tell that's gonna, like, probably bring up some issues later on in the season because he's so young and he has to learn how to properly use his powers, and also when he should and when he shouldn't use them. We also get finally Adam, Eve, and Invincible. They kiss at the end of the episode after the credits, so they're officially a thing now. It took forever and a day, but I know a lot of people are excited that they finally shipped them together. Even though I gotta be honest, it was a little blunt, and it was long overdue in the comic. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm referring to right now. It was blunt in the comic, and it came out of nowhere, even though we was all expecting it. But I laughed so hard at how she just initiated the relationship in the comic book. I thought that part was so iconic. Apparently, it wasn't as iconic as I thought it was, because when the show first started, I remember thinking that was a part that I couldn't wait to see get adapted. But they changed it. They made it more gradual. I guess they made it more natural. You know, they talked about it a few times. They slowly worked their way up to it, and then they naturally ended up kissing and starting a relationship. Man, the comic book Eve wasn't playing that shit. She busted in Mark's college room when him and William was up in there, and she was just like, hey bruh, I heard that you and Amber ain't together no more, so me and you, we dating now, all right? Like, straight up, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just came in there and laid down the law. It was hilarious. But yeah, man, it was a lot in this episode, a lot to take away. A lot happened, primarily a Cecil episode. You were seeing where everybody stands after what him and Invincible did, because the fight went from the GBA, GDA, and it went from there all the way into the Guardians of the Globe base. So they all got to get involved. They chose which side they wanted to be on. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot going on. I enjoyed every minute of it. This episode was amazing to me. 9.5 out of 10. I can't wait to see what happens in episode 3 and also the rest of the season. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode. If you thought Cecil was right, if you thought Invincible was right, if you love all the extra context that they put in here, if you're a comic book fan. And if you enjoyed this video, you already know what time it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, comment, subscribe for more content like this. And until next time, guys, hope you have a good day, night, wherever you are. Peace.